Hey guys, welcome into Unpaved. Man, it's great to be with you on a Thursday. We get legends from all sports on this show. And I always want somebody far smarter than me or can feed us. And you guys, sir, we get great college football and NFL and Major League Baseball insight. You got Chipper Jones. Be damned, all my buddies know I'm talking to you. I love you. But this is the one. This is where the legend really starts. My obsession, my OCD, my nutcase addiction to golf. And it's here. I've been teasing this for a week. Colt Knost, CBS broadcaster, obviously. He's part of the CBS golf team, which is the best in the business. Podcasts, he's a co-host of Gravy and the Sleeves, which the name already says it's going to be awesome. And I've listened to both, and the co-host on Golf's Subpar podcast. Much to discuss. Colt Knost, CBS broadcaster, joins us and commentator, always on the golf beat, joins us now. Colt, welcome in from your place in Scottsdale. Well, let me start here, man. What is an off season like now? Your season just ended. What's an off season consist of with you and your buddies? What do you do in the off season?
Yeah, well, first off, it's an honor to be on with you. Been a big fan for a long time. You know my passion for football. My off season, I actually get to play golf, which is fantastic. I think I enjoy golf so much more now than when I was actually doing it for a job. Because now, like, I enjoy going out. I want to play well, but I never get mad. I don't really care. I just want to go out there, gamble, talk some trash with the fellas, and have a good time. But, yeah, it's so hot in Scottsdale here right now. I still am making some trips every now and then. I'm a member up at a place in Flagstaff. We just had a fun little event up there, a little pro scratch event. And then in September, I'm making my first ever trip to National Golf Links with some buddies. I've never been there up in the Hamptons. And then I'll be at the Ryder Cup, so still got a little work to do. But after the Ryder Cup, I am done. It is member guest season for me.
I absolutely love it. You say you don't get angry. Mm-hmm. Okay, when you go out and play around, and we'll get to your amateur and your pro career and how it ended in getting into this, which golf's loss as a player, which I know I get it, is our gain as a broadcast, listeners to be able to hear you with not only the spice, but your insight, which I love. And an SMU guy too. It's not far from home because I raised my kids in Frisco, Plano, right there. They went to Plano West, so not far from where you went to school in one of the great areas in the world, right there by SMU, Lower Greenville. Well, you say you don't get mad. Did you as a player? I mean, I'm familiar with your background too because I'm older than you. But did you get mad as a player?
Oh yeah, I played with a chip on my shoulder, and I thought I had to. Just look, I'm the little short fat guy. I was way behind these guys that were athletes. When I played with Dustin Johnson, I'm getting up 30, 40, 50 yards. And I felt like I always had to play with a chip on my shoulder, always something to prove. And so when it didn't go my way, absolutely, I got pissed off. I think if you don't get a little pissed off, I don't think you care enough. Like, this is your job. You're an athlete. I'm sure when plays didn't go the way you wanted to, you weren't extremely happy out there either.
All too often, my friend. All too often. If I would have been pissed the whole time if it would have been the whole way. But I've got like that, a combination at times. I've gotten better. When you go from my sport to another sport or your sport to another sport, is it you think that, I think, well, I'm a football player. I was a 3-sport athlete and recruited in high school, going to college. Of course I can hit a golf ball that doesn't move. I ain't got anybody trying to hit me. And then you go out there and do it. And I'm saying, oh, no, you can never perfect it. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But I was a combination for a while of Steve Pate, the volcano, and maybe who was that? Wyndham Clark this year. Wyndham Clark had a volcano type year this year. Is there somebody in between there?
He had a rough year. I think one of my favorites, just to show that it's okay to show emotion, like Tyrrell Hatton.
I love it.
Perfect example. He loses his shit, but then it's over, and he's only ever mad at himself. He never blames his caddy, never blames anybody else. But I think he makes for great TV. Like, we miss him over at the PGA Tour. People will say, oh, he's acting like an idiot. I'm like, no, this is great. He's showing passion. He's fired up. You never know what he's going to say. He has great sound bites.
And you know what, Colt, about him? He can snap hook one and be pissed. But the compartmentalization, then he'll flip one like he did this last weekend when they were playing the overtime on the other tour. But and that smile on his face, I'm drawn to the way he plays. About just his personality on the course.
Can I share a good Tyrrell story for you?
You can stay here for 3 hours sharing anything you want, brother.
This is so great. So I think it was the year before last. Amanda Balionis and I had a couple tournaments a year. We have a set on one of the famous par threes. So we're at the 17th, the par three at the Byron Nelson. It's called the Ranch Hole. So he agrees on Saturday to come down and sit with us and call some golf and just talk. And I don't think he knew like he was going to call golf. And so I said something to him, like comment on a shot, and he was just terrible. Like he fumbled his words, didn't know what he's saying. So the next day on Sunday, I have his group, and we're on the 5th hole, the par 5 there at Craig Ranch, and he hits it like 20 feet and 2, has an eagle putt, leaves it like 3 feet short and right. Like it was just terrible putt. Ends up making it, comes walking over to the side of the green, sees me, and he goes, "That first putt was about as bad as my fucking commentary yesterday." And I was like, that's terrible right there. That's how great.
And then he probably laughed after it and went hit a good shot after it. He's a hell of – we get caught up in that personality part of it, Colt. And you're with these guys every day, the grind, you see the good and the bad and the in-between of all of them. But the dude is a flat-ass ball striker. He's a great player.
Dude, he doesn't miss the middle. He is so good. And people say, oh, if he was more positive or if he was more of a robot like a lot of these guys who train, he'd be better. I don't think he would. Like, I think it would be just building inside, and he would eventually just need to explode. I think he talks about it. He's like, look, I get it out, and then I'm on to the next shot. I think we need more of that, honestly. I mean, we love Tiger running around fist pumping. Tiger wasn't scared to drop a few F-bombs out there. All these guys have been trained to be robots and just stay flatline. Like, that sucks for us in the TV business.
Does it bother you? I mean, we talk about personality, and we know Scotty's just who Scotty is, right? Mm-hmm. We know how good he is, and I mean, it's just different. But I saw some fire in him this year, even sometimes at times that you don't used to, you're not used to at least seeing from our vantage point on television. But do we need more of that? Do we need not just one or two guys? Do we need, and I'm not talking about a steady diet, but do we need Tyrrell Hatton type personalities where it's okay? You don't always have to be stoic. Did an F-bomb, and I understand the Wyndham Clark thing was a little after, and I get his frustration. We've all been there, but at a major level like that. But do we need more of that pizzazz and more fan-friendly stuff on the PGA Tour, Colt? I think so. And whether it's, a bad attitude or a great attitude, interacting with the fans, like what Bryson's done to his image has been fantastic. I mean, incredible. He's totally turned a 180, and he is a totally different person now. The crowd loves him. He's interacting with them, talking to them before shots, high-fiving them after shots. I just think we need more of that. We need to care more about the fan out there and what can we do to make it entertaining, because I know it's a sport, I know it's your job, but you are an entertainer out there. And I'm not saying you have to be somebody you're not, but I know how you are off the golf course. Don't be scared to show that on the golf course. Do you, if you had, we're going to get to the Ryder Cup, but if you were playing in this Ryder Cup, and I don't care if it's one of the 12 guys that's on it or anybody else on the current tour who's a current PGA Tour member, who would you want to be your partner? Scotty. He's the best. Is that regardless of the personality and the grind, he's the best. He's the one you want because you know what you're getting? That's somewhat joking around. I love Scotty. I've known him since he was 7 years old, and what he's done is just so incredible. I always knew he'd be great. I didn't know he'd be at this level. But, yeah, I was one of those guys, I feel like, with my game, like I could play with anyone. When we played the Walker Cup, the amateur version of the Ryder Cup over in Ireland, like Dustin Johnson and myself were partners. And we have totally different games, but we just always worked. And it might have been our personalities that he was the calm, quiet guy, just took care of business. And I was the shit talker with the gallery, having fun, interacting with everybody. But, yeah, Scotty, I definitely wouldn't say no to playing with Scotty. I would also love to play off Bryson's tee shots. I think I could be rather dangerous from 80 yards further down the fairway. What? You were a hell of an amateur player and a good pro. Retired after the Waste Management Phoenix Open in 2020. I know you were going through some wrist issues. When did you know? And was it the wrist or you missed the cut? I think it was medical exemption, if I'm not mistaken, thinking back to that. Mm-hmm. And you were a player. No, you talk about Walker Cup. You were a player. How tough was that decision? And when did you know that you wanted that mic in front of your face and that the golf thing, it was time to move on from that? Yeah, it's an interesting ride how it all worked. Like, obviously, I was great as an amateur. I was the number one am in the world. Turned pro, won twice on the Korn Ferry right away, and then just bounced back and forth between the PGA Tour and Korn Ferry for a little bit. And then 2015, I had a really nice year out there. Where I think I had 4 top 10s, contended a couple times. 2016 was even better. I think I had 4 third-place finishes that year. So it was there. And then, everybody thought you were one of the next great things. I can remember. Completely. Yeah, I think technology and the way guys are now, we have more athletes playing golf now.
that kind of passed me by. I mean, obviously I could have gotten in the gym, changed my body and all this, but I just didn't really want to do that. I enjoy having fun and I love playing golf. But, through that 2016 season, which was my best year, I was not allowed to practice after any round because my left thumb was so bad. It was beat up. I had several doctor's visits where I went. A couple people told me nothing was wrong. They looked at my wrist, said your wrist is pretty junky. That could be causing it. Got that cleaned up, was out 9 months, came back, hit a shot in Dallas, probably my third or fourth week back. And I was like, this ain't right. Like my thumb just started aching. Saw a guy in Dallas there. He's like, your UCL is 90% torn. You can't play golf on this. He's like, we can do surgery tomorrow. And I underwent another surgery, came back, and just knew basically out for 2 years, not competing. It was just so difficult. And it sucked too because I was really starting to find my way on the PGA Tour, getting really comfortable, competing more often. And then I came back and I had, I think 15 events or something like that. And I knew unless something crazy happens, I might be done, but done with the PGA Tour, which meant I was going back to the Korn Ferry Tour. And in the meantime, when I was hurt, I did a couple of events through CBS that was on Golf Channel. I would do the Thursday, Friday coverage, early Saturday, Sunday, just kind of just to see how it would go. And also did the PGA Championship for ESPN at Harding Park during COVID. And Mike McQuaid, the producer there, let me go down on the ground. And
my guy, man. Mike is there. Mike's the all-timer, brother.
What a great dude he is.
No doubt.
And I was on the ground there and just loved it and just felt so comfortable. Everything was great. And later on, CBS is like, hey, no matter what your decision is, we'll give you 15 events in 2020 through the Golf Channel and see how it goes. And so I played. I wanted to make my last event Phoenix. It's my home now, but just that tournament's so great and
awesome.
Just it's a shit show and we love it. It's once a year. It's so fun. And wanted to play in front of my friends and family out here one last time. It sucks. I missed the cut by a shot, but that night I knew it was over. I was 35 years old. And as much as you follow golf, the Korn Ferry Tour is full of youngsters. All the kids coming up out of college, they are hungry. They are excited to be there. And I knew after playing 8 straight years on the PGA Tour, if I went back there, I'd have a bad attitude. I wouldn't want to be there, and I wouldn't play well. I just knew it. And I said, you know what? It's been fun. I've probably overachieved in my golfing life. Let's take the next step and see what happens. And I did it. I fell in love with the TV business, and I've never been happier, Sean.
Would you play on? You're a ways away from this, but would you play on the Champions? Do you miss that competition? Or are you getting enough of what you're doing now, the competition and being involved?
I mean, there's nothing like being in the heat of the battle, coming down the stretch on a Sunday at a big time PGA Tour event. I mean, my probably most notable finish on the PGA Tour, I finished third at the Players, but I was in the next to last group or third to last group on Sunday, and just that atmosphere. Coming down the stretch, 16, 17, and 18 there. I mean, trying to pull the club back on 17 when you're sitting there tied for second, a couple off the lead. I mean, you're just trying not to throw up. And at the end of it, you're like, man, that was freaking awesome. I love that.
You know what's great about that, Colt, or what maybe it's the opposite of that, but when we watch you guys, it seems so easy. But you're almost like at the 17th at Sawgrass, feels like I would feel playing in a Pro-Am as an amateur, even though I can play. It's that, and I've done it. I remember my first Pro-Am was with Don January, and the old school Don from Tech, tough guy, and Mike Madonna and we were in Minnesota, and Mo can hit it, right? He can smoke
absolutely.
It. Yeah, and all those hockey guys can. They drive me crazy. And I can remember putting my peg in the ground, and I was shaking because they were lined up. It was at Bunker Hills midday. We were teeing off because everybody wanted to see Madonna play, and Don January has been a legend for a while on that tour. So I'm putting it in. My hand was shaking. I'm thinking, Sean, you can do this. But it was fearful. So I'm saying you're staying over 17 as a pro who's had a phenomenal amateur and a hell of a start to your pro career. Literally, when you're walking that tee box at that golf course, is it the scariest shot in golf, one, when you're close, or is there something that is equivalent, 12 at Augusta or what have you? But were you really to the point where you wanted to piss yourself because it was so nerve-wracking?
Yeah, I mean, because I think as a golfer, all these people that say they don't watch golf and they're professional golfers, they're lying to you, in my opinion. We're all golf nerds. We watch the game. We pay attention to what goes on. We know the history. And that one at Sawgrass, it's most holes you can bail out. and whatever, give yourself a look at par, make bogey, no big deal. Like, you never want to be that guy. You don't want to be the Bob Tway. You don't want to be the Sean O'Hare that has the train wreck at 17 at Sawgrass. And it can happen because at some point you've got to get it on that dry land. And I'll never forget, I believe I looked up at the leaderboard. I was 2 back at Jason Day, tied for second. And I was like, I got to attack the spin. It's a wedge. I have a better chance of making birdie here than I do at 18. Like, I got to go. And I put the peg in the ground, and I mean, the club felt like it weighed like a feather. Like, I mean, I was like, oh my God. I mean, everything's going. Your heart beating to 9 million miles an hour. And I told myself it was a good wedge number. I'm going at this right hole location. And it's amazing what goes through your mind in that short amount of time, from the time you take it back to the top of the backswing. Because I remember I got to the top, and in my head I said, nope, don't do it. You're an idiot. Just hit it in the middle of the green. And I pulled it as I came down and hit it to like 30, 40 feet and 2-putted. But I was like, I literally just told myself a story in my head in a matter of about 0.9 seconds. But it's crazy how powerful that brain is. But yeah, it sucks at the time, like feeling that way. Like, you don't feel that way when you're in 50th. But when you have a chance to win, or you have a chance to have a great finish, like I said, you feel like you're going to throw up. I mean, your whole body's shaking. And then you finish, and you're like, God damn, I can't wait to do that again.
Ian Baker Finch, I know you guys' tribute to him was phenomenal. Not only a great player, but I think he's probably, most of us that watch feel like and I've never met him, feel like he's even more of a gentleman than he is. He was a hell of a player. And at one point in time was one of the great putters in the world, right? Colt, if I'm not mistaken, he was really good. But wasn't long, tried to change the swing. That's neither here nor there. One is, maybe put you on the spot, maybe you can't, who's replacing him? Number one, I mean, moving into a certain part in the role. And two is, are you in your dream job right now, or is there another level to it? 18th. Or what do you want to do with this?
Yeah, not sure yet about replacing. Obviously, it's all very new, and CBS heading into football. They'll figure that out probably in the next few months, I would imagine. I have no idea what's going to happen with that. It'll be interesting to see. We have a great team right now. We have great team chemistry. Everything flows so well. I mean, obviously, when Jim Nance is your leader, how can it not? I mean, he's the best to ever do it.
Phenomenal.
And Trevor just continues to get better and better. We have so much fun out there on the road. So I'm interested to see what happens. Dream job, I'm still new at this, in my opinion. Like, this is going to be 2026 will be my 5th season full-time there at CBS. I love being on the ground. I love interacting with the players, the gallery, everything. Obviously, Dottie Pepper is our number 1 walker. I don't see her going anywhere anytime soon. I would love to be that one in the last group, walking down the fairways in the biggest moments in golf. Being on the course at Augusta, which she's the only person to ever do that, would be a dream come true for me. But I'm having so much fun, man. Like, as Charles Barkley always says, I'm getting paid to talk. I'm going to talk anyway.
No doubt. And you mentioned Dottie, and I said this on my show a couple of weeks ago. They were talking about female broadcasts. I'm saying, who doesn't get enough credit? Maybe because she's such a minimalist, but she fits in with the fellas. And when she's talking golf, like you guys, I'm learning something. I think she's as underrated a female voice as there is in the world when it comes to knowing not just her sport as feet, but knowing golf. And she fits in with you. You guys banter back and forth, and the digs you guys get in. Even Jim got one in. Was it on you, Colt, late in the season?
Probably.
Jim got, what's that?
Probably.
It was either on you or it might have been on somebody else, but it was a dig. Maybe it was on Frank. I can't remember, but even Jim got a good dig in about somebody's a choice of words in a fun way. But I'm like, this team is perfection, and Dottie adds to that, as you mentioned.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely not going to disagree with you, because if I did, Dottie would beat my ass. But I love her. She's been so great to me, like helping me throughout the years. I mean, she's one of the best to ever do it down there on the ground. And when I came into it, I was obviously very new, was very raw. I mean, like, as I always say, I'm careful to call myself a professional athlete, but I played a professional sport for a living. And when you do that, like, most people don't have a backup plan. There's no plan B. It's like, I'm going to have a great career. I'm going to make millions of dollars. I'm going to retire. Well, it doesn't always go that way for everybody. So when this happened to me, like, I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't know if I was going to be good at it. It was a risk I took doing those 15 events, like, because they could say, hey, you sucked, we're done. And then I'm going to be like, oh God, what do I do now? But luckily it worked out, and Dottie's been a huge help to me. The whole team has. They welcomed me in when I know it's not easy to welcome a new person in, because those people have been together for so long. And here is this young guy that doesn't know what the hell he's doing coming in. And it easily could have gone a different direction, but it's been great. And I'm just so lucky to be over at CBS.
But, and Colt, I feel like that when I'm watching you, and it sure as hell doesn't feel like you're new at it. But there's this energy. But when I watch you, I feel like, and we haven't met in person, and we will play. Mm-hmm. But I feel like I'm seeing the guy I'm hearing on the golf course is how you are with your buddies, or when you're playing golf on your own, or when you're talking sports with them. I feel like I'm getting the same guy. Am I?
Yeah, that's the plan. So I'll never forget Lance Barrow, the longtime legendary CBS producer. He was the one who gave me my first shot, and I did a couple of them. And he would always come up to Whisper Rock here in Scottsdale every year during Phoenix Open and have lunch and just hang out. And he told me after my first one, he's like, look, I've listened to you at Whisper Rock, sit around the tables, tell stories, talk to your buddies. He goes, that's what I want on TV. Just don't say fuck.
Without the F-bombs.
Yeah, just don't do that. But that's the biggest thing. He's like, and so when I first did my first one, obviously I was very timid. Probably wasn't near myself because I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't know how to do it. And then Jim Rickoff, who's the football producer for CBS, and is just awesome. He sent me a message, and I've saved it. I'll never forget it. But it was this long text just saying, look, we brought you on to be you. He goes, be you. If it works, great. If it doesn't, go down in flames. Like, this is what we want you for. You need to be different. You are different. So just show it to us on air. And, like, that meant so much to me. And that's one thing I've always said is, like, I'm not going to try to be the perfect broadcaster. I know my grammar is not always perfect, but I know when I speak, the viewer at home understands what I'm trying to say.
Colt, a lot of times former players, and I found when I first started my broadcast career, you're like, well, how critical and complimentary without making it personal, right? And I try to tell the expert, not talk below them and not talk above the amateur. So they're like, Madden was always great at that. He weaved everybody in, and you felt like he was your buddy, right? Mm-hmm. And so going in, and a lot of guys that I talk to that have struggled in it say, well, they have a hard time criticizing guys they played because people say, well, did you forget? Did you forget what it was like when you played? Well, if you're doing it honestly, and I want to ask you in your career, did that ever enter your mind say, okay, I can't be critical of a snap hook or a guy that, chili dips or 3 putts from 6 feet? Or do the guys treat you great because you're honest about the game and don't make it personal? Where was the line for you, and did you question that when you got into it?
So I think the hardest part is when I stepped away. Obviously, I'm still friends with these guys. Like,
right.
Some of the best in the world are right around my age, and Jordan Spieth, who's 8 years younger, I've known since he was 16. Like, these guys, I've been around my whole life, and I still consider them friends. Like, on the road, I go to dinner with them, hang out. And the one thing I'm always careful about is, like, they'll tell me things that they don't want to be out there. And they'll tell me great stories, whatever it is. And I'm always just sure, like, hey, do you care? Like, that was phenomenal. Do you care if I use that on the broadcast? And if they say no, then I drop it. But if they say yes, then absolutely I get it in. And the critical part, like, I don't have a problem with it. Like, if we were playing a money game and you snap up one, I would tell you how I feel about it, or get in your ear and talk some trash. And that's the same thing I've relayed to a lot of my friends out there. Like, if I criticize you and you get mad about it, let's sit down and watch the shot and tell me what I said that wasn't true.
Exactly. Being honest about the golf guy.
Yeah, like, you're my friend. I'll buy you dinner afterwards. I'll take you to whatever. But if you try to argue with me or say that I'm not allowed to criticize you and that's my job, I'm sorry, then this just isn't going to work out. But I'm not scared to criticize guys. People always, all the time, say that I kiss certain players' ass and all this. I had a guy send me on Twitter. He's like, would you quit kissing Scotty Scheffler's ass? All you do is say how great he is. I'm like, how great he is. He wins every time he tees it.
Five alive, right?
Yeah. I looked this year or something, and I think I added it up. Like, Scotty averages just over 66 when I walk with him. I'm like, show me where I'm supposed to say anything bad. I mean, the dude shoots 0 every time I play with him.
When it's almost like, oh man, Scotty looked like he hits it in the first cut of rough. You're like, oh man, what an average shot for him. When the rest of us will take a shot like that, us amateurs. Would you have a most embarrassing moment as a golfer, and as a broadcaster?
Broadcaster was very early on. I can tell you this, and I got smoked on Twitter for it. Which, by the way, you can be perfect. You can be Jim Nance and you get hated on Twitter.
That ain't real life when we get on Twitter, and you and I both know that.
Yeah. My first full season where I was doing every actual CBS event, I believe, was 2022. And it was, I think, Luke List and Will Zalatoris in a playoff at San Diego, our first one, the Farmers Insurance, first one of the season. And I was getting a ride from Gary Woodland to Phoenix that night for the next tournament. And so I was with Will Zalatoris that morning or early in the day, and I had like an hour and a half to kill before, if there is a playoff or whatever there is. So like I just slowly started making my way back towards the compound and like, okay, if this thing doesn't go to a playoff, like I'm out of here so I can get there and jump on with Gary. Well, I'm back at the compound. All hell breaks loose. There's a playoff. So I come bolting out, going towards 18 to get there in time for a playoff. I had a monitor around my neck at the time. I'm getting there. It's getting extremely dark. My monitor strap breaks. Now I don't have my monitor. We're on the fairway. I'm watching the tee box. I'm like, you literally cannot see the ball. Like the fact they're even playing this is kind of shocking. And Luke List steps up to play and tees off, and you can't see the ball in there. I see him quickly pick up the tee. The marshal with his signs shows it straight down the middle, and I was like, this is hammered right down the middle. And it flew in the right fairway bunker. And Faldo goes like, Colt, that doesn't look like the middle and all this. And I was like, oh, yeah, whatever. It's dark out here, blah, blah. And I got smoked because I guessed. I just went off reaction and everything I saw, and I just flat out guessed. And people just killed me for it. I was beating myself up over it. At the end of the day, like I made a mistake. I'll never guess again. I learned from it. But I still blame that marshal for signaling it was straight down the middle.
Damn right. Yeah. He's got a gig to do too. Colt Knost, legendary. I call him Lev because I just love his insight. He's made an impact quickly. And JT34, it's cool. We're talking golf today, but it's okay. Nobody's begging you to stay. But you'll learn a lot if you do. We're having some fun. No problem. We'll get to football talk as well here with Colt Knost. If you had one golf course you had to play the rest of your life with three of your buddies, what is it?
It's the easiest decision. Easiest decision ever. Shadow Creek, Las Vegas.
That's one of my favorite courses. Why? It's fun. I mean, tell the people why. You played there. I have too. Well, why is it your favorite? The
golf course is fantastic. You will not find a better conditioned golf course. I think it is so much fun to play. And then just the whole experience. The limo ride out there. The fact you're going through these shopping centers and just not the nicest area in the world. Then you turn in the gate and just boom, there's heaven right there. You go through the trees. You see all the wild animals. The staff who I've been so close with, Monty Montgomery and his whole team. Like I love the place. There's nothing better than going out. I've played it 100 times and I still get excited every time I pull through the gates. And I mean, we play 6, 7, so much gambling going on, drinking, just nothing better, man. It's my favorite day of the year every time I go out there.
I think it's phenomenal. And quick story about that, and you could probably validate this and laugh. A caddy's with us, right? It's the last time I was out there, and he's with us. He's hopping on the back, and we got 2 bags, but he's hopping on the back of the cart and going down there and, giving us some insight. And I said, well, have you ever caddied for any of the PGA Tour fellows that come out here? He goes, oh yeah. He's probably 27, 28 years old, just a kid. And I said, well, who? He goes, I had Davis Love and Vijay Singh. And I said, okay, good group to have. One's a real grinder. The others, they both had great careers and Hall of Fame careers. I said, well, what was it like? He goes, yeah, it was great. I said, well, was Vijay a grinder? He said, oh, mama. He said, you're not going to believe it. I said, tell me. I want to hear the story. He says, Davis Love and him tee off on par 4. I can't remember what hole it was. Hit it down the middle, and they come up to the ball, and Vijay hits it too. And they're within a couple yards of each other at the time. And Davis asks him the distance, and he tells him, it's this or this. And Davis steps up and hits it. And I go, well, what about Vijay? And he said, well, Vijay asked me, is it 166 or 160? And he said, it's 166 or 167. The caddy did. And Vijay looked at him and said, which one is it? And I said, was there a smile on his face? He goes, oh, no. He was dead ass serious. Now, I know Vijay's a fun guy too, but we see the grind. But doesn't that epitomize kind of his game? He wanted to know to 3 feet, which one was it in a practice round?
Absolutely. And I've always defended Vijay because everyone from the outside is always like, oh, he's an ass. He can't be that nice. People have no idea how great Vijay is. Like, he's funny. He talks trash. He is so good. When he was on tour, he was so good to the young guys. The rookies, he would take them under their wing, play practice rounds with them. I love Vijay. I had so much fun. He was the other pro 1 year out at AT&T Pebble Beach in my group. So we spent 3 days together, him and his partner and me and my partner. And, dude, we had a blast.
Do you I mean, you said Shadow Creek is your favorite course. Do you like – I'm thinking about the tour, and I was thinking about Ryder Cup, and, people gave Patrick Cantlay a hard time this past week about slow play. Does slow play bother you?
Oh,
I'm not just talking about that. Does it bother you?
It's awful. I hate it. I went through a little funk in the middle of my career where I was battling some demons where I couldn't really pull the trigger, but I had a guy pull me aside, and ever since then it's been nothing. But throughout most of my career, I was one of the fastest guys out there. I mean,
right.
we have Shot Link and everything now, and you have your PGA Tour links, and you can see like where you rank in each department of the game as far as pace of play and all this. And I was always one of the faster players. And for me, like I was always the first one to hit because I was the shortest off the tee. So the fact that I was the fastest was crazy to me. But it's awful, man. I think it ruins the game. It's really hurting the TV product. I was talking to Frank Nobilo about this. Like when he first started, and we would come on Saturday or Sunday for a 3-hour show. Like the last group would normally be on like number 3 or 4. Now we're talking 8 and 9. Like we're missing out. Like Pebble Beach is a great example. Like we're missing out on 6, 7, sometimes 8 at Pebble Beach on CBS because of how slow the pace of play is. It's awful, man. They got to make some changes. I've done a lot of research into this, and I've given them a lot of examples. It's just bad, and they allow it nowadays. And their whole deal is the golf courses are harder, blah, blah, all this. I was like, I don't care how hard the shot is. You still go through the same stuff. You get your yardage, you get your carry number, and you talk about where the wind is, and you hit it. It doesn't matter if it's whatever, 16 at Cypress or a little layup par 3, number 7 at Pebble Beach. Like, I don't care. You still have to hit the shot.
Yeah, it's got to be a pain in the ass. I mean, for watching on TV, and then I mean, it's not a matter of Sunday, but Patrick Cantlay has his routine. A lot of guys have it. I get it. I like the Sepp Strock to grab the club, take a look, and when he's in a fair and let it rip. Right? I mean, from that vantage point. But can it be a distract like at the Ryder Cup? Can it be a distraction to the playing partners because he's so methodical and irritation? Can it be methodical and a problem for the other Ryder Cup team as they're waiting for Cantlay to go through his thing? Does it become a problem?
Yeah. The problem is, how the fans in New York are too. And I know they're going to be very pro Team USA, but you remember what they did to Sergio up there at the U.S. Open with his regripping and everything. And I think even though he's representing the United States, I would have a feeling there's going to be a lot of guys up there giving it to him when he's shuffling his feet around for a good 45 seconds. And it sucks, man, because Patrick's such a good dude. And I know they have their routines, like you said, and everything, but it's just a matter of respect. And also, the rules say you have 40 seconds to hit a shot. So let's start enforcing this. Do you know
how we're not enforcing it enough? Why don't we, Colt? If you want to speed it up, enforce it.
Can I tell you how hard it is to get a stroke penalty for slow play on the PGA Tour?
Oh, well, from my watching every single game, you're there, but from watching on TV every single event every weekend, it sure as hell. I get all these, they've talked about slow play. My buddy Deuce Bobick, who was a teammate of mine. If you see Deuce first, please tell him I said, don't tell his bitch ass to call me. But he was a teammate of mine in Minnesota, and he's awesome. But how do we speed this up? You're talking about him. I mean, you can pretty much rob Peter to pay Paul. You can beg, borrow, cheat, and steal, and they're not taking they're not stroking you with a penalty.
I'll do this quickly for you, but this is how you get a penalty on the PGA Tour. Tell me if you think this is a good system. So your group gets behind. You get told to pick it up. You get a warning. If you don't pick it up, you get put on the clock. So now we're timing every shot. First guy gets 50 seconds. Next 2 guys get 40. Okay? If you go over your time, they come up and tell you, hey, that was a bad time. That's your warning. So then you have to do it again to get a penalty. So you have to mess up 4 times. Put this in the camera. 4 times before you get it. As a child, I mean, did you ever be told if you mess up 4 times, then we're going to punish you? No,
well, it's like you mess up once, you do it again. Some on the end of it, there wasn't. You get another time.
Yeah,
it was like a little whooping. Yeah.
And I'm like, my whole deal is, why can we not change this to where your group is slow, guys? Y'all are on the clock. We're telling you, first bad time, boom, there's a shot. I promise you, the first time one of those dudes gets a bad time, and has to add a shot to their score, they'll never do it again.
And don't let it cost them a tournament where they lose by a stroke. And it's like a fine. When you're fining these guys that are making a $800 million in sports, $10,000 for it's like, come on now, son. But you hit them hard. I know this about athletes, and Colt, you do better than I do as well. Hit them at their wallet or hit them with the chance to lose because of a penalty stroke, and it'll change in a hurry. But
absolutely,
5 chances, just way too many. And it's maddening and almost insufferable on the course to watch slow play. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, Torrey Pine's first tournament of this year, Dottie Pepper called him out. They turned in 3 hours, the final group. 3 hours.
And I loved when she did that, too. Yeah. It was phenomenal.
Boy, the players did.
Well, they'll get over it. They because you know what? It's I understand it's a big event and bad weather and all that, but still, like you said, I'm still standing over looking shots. There are those things where you hit a ball into another fairway and you got to find it. I get all that, looking for a ball, but I'm all in on fast play. Okay, I'm going to negotiate with you on here. If I've told you I'm a fanatic for golf apparel, golf clothing, golf trips, golf courses. I could talk about it all day. So let's say I'm coming up with an apparel business and a leisure business, and I got my logo on it, and I want to come to you as a golf announcer or to do it. What's it cost to get Colt Knost to wear a logo for a shirt as a broadcaster? We'll get to the players in a second. What's it cost if I say, man, put this on and wear it? Or do you guys all have to wear the same company at the golf course because it's sponsored by whoever it is, FootJoy or Travis Matthew, whoever it is?
Yeah. Can
you do your own deals on the golf course?
Well, that's funny you say that because I brought that up this year, and I'm still waiting to get 100% confirmation that I can't, because like over at CBS, Polo provides all our cameramen, all the people out on the grounds, clothing, which obviously me, Mark, and Dottie, same thing. So obviously we wear that because that's what sponsors CBS. But I said at the end of the day, like if I have a company reach out and they're like, hey, we'd love to sponsor you, would that be okay? And they're like, oh, let's think about that. That's interesting. So at the time, I don't really know, but we wear Polo. I remember our first couple of years at CBS, we were with Adidas. They just try to make all of us look the same. And I'll tell this because it is amazing to me on Sundays for over 20 years, everyone on the ground with CBS wears all black. And look, I'm a team player. When I came aboard, I do it. It sucks in the summer. It's hotter than hell. And the amount of people that come up in the gallery are like, oh, all black. Good choice today, huh? And I'm like, dude, we've been doing it for a million years. I just follow along. I just do what I'm told.
But if the shirts are all, whether it's all black but it's a different logo and you can capitalize on it. I mean, here I am. I'm already your agent, brother. I'm negotiating with CBS to say it. So what's it called? I'm being honest here.
I have no idea.
So like if I come to you and we'll talk about this off the air. Don't think that business plan isn't already ahead or I wouldn't be asking this. So is it like, for instance, if you go to Sam Burns, what's it cost for Peter Millar to pay him on his shirt?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's obviously way different for guys at that level.
But you're an influencer as well as a broadcaster because you've got a lot of following on social media to put that out there too.
I'll tell you this. Most guys on the PGA Tour don't get paid to wear clothes. It's just the fact that they provide them with clothes. They'll put their sponsors on it. But most companies don't pay players to wear their clothes. Now, the top end, that's a totally different deal. But for the most part, it's just all free product for those guys.
I'm going to be able to break into the tour. I'm willing to give money to watch that logo fire up and roll.
Love that.
That's honestly because you got to be an outside thinker on the marketing part. And why wouldn't you? And if you can steal players like you or guys like that or broadcasts like you, why wouldn't you? Okay, did Keegan Bradley get it right with this Ryder Cup picks?
Yeah, he did. I was actually there in the building yesterday when all that happened. I interviewed Keegan afterwards. I did. He was in a tough spot, right? Like they gave him the captaincy when he was 38 years old. Probably thought he wouldn't make it based on his play, but he's arguably having the best year of his career. Like he is playing so solid, playing so good. The win at the Travelers, I think, really made him think. But that being said, now he has 12 guys, and their sole focus is playing good golf. Whereas if he plays, there's 11 guys whose sole focus is golf, and there's Keegan, who wants to play great more than anything, but he knows he's got the interviews, the captaincy, putting picks out there, all that. There would be a lot going on. And I know Trevor Immelman came out and said, like, he doesn't think he should do it, and he was a President's Cup captain. I talked to several other people that kind of went down the same line, but he could have a chance to make history. First one since 1963 in Arnold Palmer, but it's changed a lot since then. There is so much going on. I don't know if you've ever been to a Ryder Cup, but it's mayhem. So I think he did make the right choice. And I had my list that if he doesn't play, this is who it's going to be. And that's exactly who he went with.
Because even if he played great and he just – listen, if he wasn't the captain, you would have had to choose him. He's played such good golf, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
But even if he played great, but they lost the Ryder Cup, people would have punished him mercilessly. If he'd have played poorly and won the Ryder Cup, they'd have said, yeah, man, that's selfish. He shouldn't have put himself on there. He took away from the only way he could have won is if he played lights out and they won the Ryder Cup. And it probably, considering his passion, and he was all immersed into the society, probably didn't know if he was going to play that great this year. I mean, I know he expects to play well, but it all came together. I admire his decision, but I can imagine because It's not every day that people make 5 and 6 Ryder Cups. That had to be brutal to make that decision for him in emotion.
Absolutely. And I'll just go back to what you were saying earlier. He's going to get crucified no matter what, whether he played or not, if they lose. If they lose, he's like, I've been saying this all week on our SiriusXM show. It's the Al Davis thing. Just win, baby. If you win, everything's going to be okay. If you lose, if he loses now, even though he's not playing, it's going to be like, well, you could have helped the team. You were one of the better players. Why did you not pick yourself? You could have helped the team. You didn't do everything you could to make sure this team is successful. And that sucks, but that's what comes with the media nowadays. So just go win, Keegan. We're rooting for you.
No question about it. I love his fire, and I think this is going to be as intense of a Ryder Cup we've had in a long time, Colt. You're around it more than I do, but the contrast and comparisons to the two. The golf course, and I know how important iron play is. You know more than I do in putting, and those are pretty obvious. But if I said, give me great drivers of the golf ball at Bethpage or great iron players, average drivers of the golf ball, put's obvious. What am I choosing between the first two?
Irons. 100%. I don't care what the golf course is. It's irons. To give yourself as many makeable looks as possible is so important. Guys drive it so long nowadays. Like the difference between the average guy on the PGA Tour and the longest guy, like just isn't that much anymore. And so, like Colin, everyone says Colin Morikawa is a short hitter. He averages 297 off the tee. Like he's not short. You can play any golf course.
15 years ago, he's in the top 10 of driving, probably, exactly. Right?
Yeah, and so people say, oh, he's the shortest, one of the shorter guys. I get that. Yeah, he might be. But what he's giving up in distance off the tee, what he does with his iron game smashes that. Like he is such a great iron player. I'm taking him all day. I want as many looks as possible in the Ryder Cup and then let the putter do the talking.
Do they take their Ryder Cup and not whether people are offended, do the Euros take the Ryder Cup more important, or do they take it more serious than we do?
Everybody, I think, likes to make that a narrative, and I just think it couldn't be further from the truth. Everybody says they have better team camaraderie and all this, and I disagree as well. I know what these guys are like. I know how much time they spend together. You know, the normal people don't realize, like, so many of those guys rent houses together every week. Their families are around each other all the time. No, USA, that fire burns deep. They hate it when they get criticized. They love what happened at Whistling Straits. They hate what happened at Rome. Just like same thing for Team Europe. I think both teams care so much. I wouldn't say one team cares more than the other or takes it more serious. Both teams want to win more than anything.
Who's your dream foursome? You and 4 others. Who? I mean, if it's somebody you played with, I love when I'm talking golf to get this. So we're playing it at Shadow Creek, obviously. Who are the other 4 guys? You're playing a 5-some and you're betting your ass off and you're having fun and playing good golf. Who is it?
Well, the one thing that sucks for me in my career is I never got to play with Tiger. And my relationship with him has changed quite a bit over the last couple of years. I've actually gotten to know him a little bit. So Tiger's going to be in there because I want to play.
And they don't have to be golfers either. It can be
anybody. Oh, they're not going to be. That's the only golfer in the group. Charles Barkley, who is one of my favorite people in the world, and he ain't scared to gamble, and he's easy money on the golf course, so that helps. Michael Jordan was my idol growing up. I've had the chance to play with him a few times. He's going to be in there. That way we can also make Charles and Michael friends again. I'll make sure that happens.
We need that. There's no question about it. We got to fix that up. Charles and Mike got to get back they got to get back together and go steady again. Yes, that'd be great.
I'll actually throw one more golfer in there just because he's my best buddy in the world and he's a blast to be with. And I think the 5 of us in Vegas could just be one of the all-time trips. I'll throw Gary Woodland in there as well.
Boy, and not only one of your favorite guys, but what a story.
Yeah.
That emotion runs deep for him, doesn't it, Colt? And that's a great group, and we'll get back to the betting part of it in Charles. But Gary Woodland, every time I hear him talk, I almost feel like I'm feeling his emotion. Mm-hmm. What an incredible story. And what one hell of a guy. I've never met him, but he sure from a distance seems special.
He's as good as they get. Cut that part. Don't put that in there. I don't want him to hear that.
Have you played with Charles? I mean, he's out there in the valley. You guys must play quite a bit, right?
I've drank with Charles a lot more than I've golfed with Charles, but
yes. I'm in the same category as you. I used to watch, can't do that, but I've drank a lot more with Chuck than I ever have played golf with him. No doubt.
Yeah, I played with him probably a dozen times. Yeah, he joined Wishbrook a couple of years ago. His first day as a member, he teamed up with Dan Marley and the member, and they won. He took the trophy on the set at NBA on TNT the next week. I mean, he was so proud of himself.
Got better this year in Tahoe, though, didn't he, Cole? Chuck looked better.
he has gotten so much better. I hate to admit it. We have a bet every year at Tahoe where he finishes. I'm 3 for 4 so far, but that first day he played great. I think he shot 81 and was in like 24th place. He was beating a lot of people, and then he came back down there. Tahoe's a tough place for him. You know, he likes having some cocktails. He loves gambling, and he loves his golf. And with all three of those things going on, there's not a lot of sleep involved up there.
Has he ever taken a dime from you?
With his, I remember, I think it was last year at Tahoe. We always bet like whether he finishes 65th or better or whatever. That he got me last year. He's never beat me out of money on the golf course like with both of us playing. Absolutely not. And he never will.
How many strokes you got to give him?
So his whole bet is he'll play for anything I want, and he takes everything but the par threes. And I'm like, Charles, you ain't ever gonna beat me with that.
Even taking everything but the par three.
Yeah. He's like, I'm a man. I ain't taking no strokes on par threes.
Football, you an SMU fan?
Oh, yeah.
In school?
Yeah.
Pretty impressive last year. Are your college football Saturdays, I know how much you love it. So tell me what Saturday is going to look like this week. We got some big games. What will it look like?
Well, I can tell you exactly how it's going to look like because I just watched the Lee Corso special a couple of nights ago. Not so fast, my friends, and I got teary-eyed at the end with all the tributes to him. I will be – that's 6 a.m. game day starts here in Scottsdale. I actually am going to get up because it's his last one. I respect the guy so much. I'm a massive fan. I'm going to watch that entire game day, and it'll lead right into Texas and Ohio State. Growing up, I was a Texas fan, so I still root for them. I've been lucky enough to get to know the Manning family over the last 10 years. Cooper was the first Manning I actually ever met.
He's
and
awesome.
His son Arch, obviously, the quarterback there. So I'm pulling hard for them. I know Cooper's a nervous wreck probably right now getting ready for this game. But, oh, yeah, I'll be on the couch 6 a.m. watching Lee Corso's final game day. Also, my wife, Natalie, she doesn't really care about sports, but she discovered the Pat McAfee kicking contest last year. And so now she's like, make sure I'm up. I want to see the kicking part.
Okay,
so she comes up.
What's the drink of choice for you on? Are you a beer guy? Are you a whiskey guy? What's the drink of choice during college football Saturdays?
Well, considering it starts that early in the morning, I like to put it off a little bit. But I switched probably 8 years ago to being a tequila guy, and the hangover is much better when I have to play golf the next day. So, yeah, I'm a tequila soda with an orange slice.
Have you ever shot when you're playing with your buddies 65, 66 hungover?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I shot 65 on the PGA Tour hungover on a Friday when I was in dead last.
Okay, so where was the tournament and where'd you go? I need to know. Where you say, oh, man, I'm dead last. Just I'll be fine tomorrow. Sometimes it's good to play with a headache. Where were you and how did that come about?
We were at the Greenbrier, and it was the year Coach Sean Payton was caddying for Ryan Palmer. I don't know if you remember that. And so Ryan Palmer is a good buddy of mine. We played a practice round together and go out Thursday. I shoot 76, and I'm in like last or next to last. And I am first off the next morning, 7 a.m. And Kenny Chesney put on a concert that night. And Coach goes, we're going. I was like, works for me. I got nothing to play for tomorrow. So we go out, have a time, go to the casino afterwards. I think I went to bed around 2:30-ish. Quick wake up, 5:30. So obviously a little nap. Went to the course, hit 2 balls on the range. Was like, this is pointless. I feel horrendous. Went and sat in the grandstand on the first tee, waiting on my group. And here comes my group. And my caddy goes, hey, he hit 2 balls. I think he's still a little banged up from the night before. I'm not sure what's about to happen. And I stepped up on the first tee, striped down the middle, shot 29 on the front with like all tap ins, just threw darts all day.
Like 8 feet of putts on the front nine, right?
It was my caddy looked at me. He's like, God, we need to do this more often. I was like, no, we don't. So we get to the 11th hole and we catch the last group that teed off on 10. And 11th hole is a par 5. And I sat on a cooler with Sung Yul No. I have a great picture of it. With Sung Yul No for probably 30 minutes. And I got so hungover. And I was just I never should have sat down. I parred the last several holes to shoot 65 or 64, missed the cut by a shot.
Man, yeah, sitting down, just keep it moving, right? Did you have to take a little side throw up to get it out of your gut, or were you able to withstand it?
Never threw up. I told my caddy, I said, if you're a good caddy, you would have brought me a beer on the 11th hole. We probably would have shot 58. But Johnson Wagner, actually, he loves telling this story. Johnson is doing fantastic in TV now. Several years ago at Tahoe, we were still playing. And same kind of thing. He went out for a birthday party Saturday night, was crazy hungover. And we were hitting balls next to each other. And he said, you got any advice? I go, don't sit down. Do not ever sit down. Just keep moving and you can get through it.
Does that happen more than we think? A guy, just take a little edge off the night before, and then they may have got the edge. They go to a Kenny Chesney concert because you're seeing some buddies in town.
Yeah.
One extra beer, one extra shot of tequila. Does that happen more often than we think?
No, these guys are such professionals now, and they train so hard and everything. I think back, even before my time, I think it probably happened a lot.
Right.
I remember. I don't think Calc would mind me saying this, but my second ever start as a pro was in Las Vegas during the fall series. I turned pro in 2007, and I get paired with Mark Calcavecchia on Sunday. And I come into the locker room, and I just hear this, and I look over, and Calc's on the couch, just laying there.
He didn't get cheated out of fun, did he?
No, absolutely not. And he was so good at it. I mean, he was such a good player anyway. But, I mean, he was hurting from the night before. I think those things happened a lot more. I mean, back then, yeah, it was still a lot of money. But when you're in last going into Sunday, like it's the difference between $8,000 and $10,000. Most of those guys are like, I'm going to enjoy Las Vegas.
Well, the extra $2,000 or $8,000 or $10,000, just the fun with your buddies actually more than makes up for the cash, because that memory, the cash gets spent. Colt knows for a few more minutes, and we'll get him out of here. So, Dallas Cowboy fan, correct?
Die hard.
Okay,
Die hard, man. Unfortunately,
you got to give up Texas or Dallas. You got to give up college or NFL. You only get to watch one. You don't get to watch the other. Which one are you giving up?
Probably college, just because, I mean, like I love SMU and I love what their program's doing. Texas is phenomenal, but I didn't go there. And I've been a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan since I was 3 years old. I watch every single game. Like, I'm that guy where I would rather watch in my living room so I can have the sound on and go nuts than watching out at a bar.
Do you live this frustration every year? I think Jerry's a great owner and a great marketer. Probably not my favorite GM, but you know what? It's his team. He does what he wants. But as an understatement, what kind of chance you give him this year? And do you hang on every play where you're like the remote against the TV type passion, or every year in the offseason, same story? We're talking about mid-90s, my man.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. So what's your frustration or your optimism this year for the team?
Yeah, I just watched the Netflix documentary like a lot of people, and I think Jerry Jones gained a lot of fans with what he has done to the NFL and what he's done with the Dallas Cowboys. It sucks, man. I wish he would hire a GM, because I think there's a lot of moves that could be made that he doesn't make. Like, it just seems like and we're seeing it right now with Micah Parsons. Like, he waits so long to re-sign these guys, and then the market gets totally reset, and then you have to pay him more money, and it just hurts the salary cap and everything. It sucks. I don't think we're going to be as bad as people think we are. I mean, when Dak Prescott's healthy, the Cowboys win games. They just don't win in the playoffs. It sucks, man. I like I said, I'm diehard. I want them to win. It's just so tough with the Commanders and the Eagles in that division. I mean, the Eagles, good God, I think they might have gotten better, which is terrifying.
With Jaden Daniels, Washington's not chopped liver. They're pretty damn good too, right? That's become a hell of a tough division, no doubt. You could play good football and end up in third place in that division right now.
Yeah, I mean, God, Jaden Daniels, he is so much fun to watch. And I'm a big Cliff Kingsbury fan, and I know he's in heaven out there running his offense with Jaden Daniels.
I'm about to say, you're going to score points. There ain't no doubt. It's kind of like my USC Trojans with Lincoln Riley. I don't know if we're going to defend anybody, but I'll damn well tell you we're going to have fun scoring a lot of points.
Absolutely.
They can put it on them. What is back to the senior thing. No consideration. We didn't really get no consideration when it rears its head, or is your competitive golf now, will it always be stuck to gambling with your buddies and doing it, or will you scratch that itch at the time it comes?
I don't really ever see that itch being there unless something happens where I get fired from TV. I really don't. Like, I'm having so much fun being out there every week with these guys. I feel like I can do this same job until I'm 65, 70 years
Absolutely.
old. And I hope to. I don't miss the grind of like practicing every single day, all that, and just stressing over making cuts and stuff like that. I don't miss that part. I do miss being in the competition and having a chance to win. Like, there's nothing better than that. But like I said, I'm having so much fun in this TV world, and I just feel like this is what I was really meant to do. I think professional golf led me to this. Is
it blasphemous for me to say that we just in a short period, the 3-year stint that Scheffler's on, and we know Tiger at his best, and I'm not talking about the longevity of it yet, obviously. Should we be in the same breath talking about them both in the same terms?
No, I don't think that's fair to Tiger. I mean, what he did was just absurd. And Scotty is playing phenomenal golf. But I mean, every time we bring up one of Scotty's achievements or the streaks he's on, then you look at Tiger's, and it's just absurd. Like how long he was world number one, how many total weeks he was world number one, the cut streak. I mean, everything. He just like the year 2000. That's the benchmark. You just go back and look at that season and how he won 9 times. And I think his worst finish, he finished 22nd one week maybe, but everything else was in the top 10. Like Tiger was just a different animal. But Scotty, I didn't think we'd ever see anybody go on a run like what we're seeing Scotty right now. I just thought the competition was too deep for somebody to do it. And people want to say, like, at their best, who's the best? Scotty, Rory, whoever else you want to throw in there, John Rahm. And I'll just say this. They're all great when they're on their game. And any of them can beat any of them when they're on their game. But when they're not on their game, Scotty Scheffler is so much better than everybody else. It's ridiculous.
Agreed.
I mean, his bad weeks, he finishes 8th. And that's what's so impressive.
Would Tiger at his best and his best round, when they're both at their best, would it be who hits the best shot on the 18th hole? What would it look like?
Yeah, it would be who makes it on the last to finish it off. It would be a battle. I mean, watching Scotty just play the game and how he picks apart a golf course, I think why it's tough to compare Scotty to Tiger is because if you watch Scotty play around a golf, everyone on the PGA Tour can hit the shots he does. Like, he averages 300 yards off the tee. He hits it pretty straight. He's a phenomenal iron player. Everyone can hit great iron shots. Scotty just does it more than all the others. His short game is great. They can all chip it. Jordan Spieth, one of the best chippers there is. He makes putts now. He's top 20 putter on the PGA Tour. Everyone can do all those things. Scotty just puts it all together. In Tiger's prime, he hit shots that no one else could hit, and that's the biggest difference.
Who's the best player on the CBS team? Trevor's won a major. I'm talking about today. You're young. Dottie from her tees and playing. She probably play from the back tees and still compete. How good? And Jim Nance. I was at Pebble about 2 months ago, and I thinking about where Jim's here and thinking about how often he gets to play and get his coffee and play there. Who's the best of the group?
Well, it's definitely between me and Trevor. We haven't played a ton together. I know he's like in the offseason, he works pretty hard at it. It would be a good battle. My game's pretty nice right now.
Oh, I know it is. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
so you're taking money. You're willing to go head to head. Why don't are we going to see that?
Maybe. I actually threw an idea out there I thought would be fun before Ian left, but now that Ian left, it might actually even be more fair. But we do the indoor people versus the outdoor people. So it'd be me, Amanda, Dottie, and Mark against Jim, Trevor, Frank, and Ian. And Frank doesn't really play anymore either. But I thought that'd be a fun little match to go out there and battle it out. But with them losing Ian, we could make it tough on them.
Yeah. Now? Where would they want to play? You get a feel for it. I'm sure everybody's favorite. You talk about Shadow Creek, Jim's at Pebble Beach, but would Frank's be across the pond? Would Trevor's be there, or there's American courses? If you guys had one that you kind of all talk about that's not Shadow Creek, where would you guys play it at?
That's a good question. Somewhere, obviously, where you stop along the road. I know. Obviously, with Trevor being a Masters champion, Augusta means so much to him. I'm sure Frank's would be back and visit. Frank, I don't think Frank has played a round of golf. Same thing for Dottie in over 10 years.
Why? Is it like you do it you get burned out to the point where you're covering it, you just don't want to do it, or the frustration that you're not as good as you were? Why wouldn't they play? Yeah,
that's my opinion. It's just like I can't do what I used to do. I remember Frank last year ordered a first set of irons for the first time in like 10 years. And he put what shafts, I laughed at him. He put X100 shafts in his irons. I was like, what are you doing? You haven't played in 10 years. You're 65 years old, you old bag. You can't handle those shafts anymore. But yeah, Frank also says like it just the next day if he plays, like it just hurts so bad. It's not worth it. Dottie, I don't know why she doesn't play more. I know how competitive she is. I'm a little surprised she doesn't play more.
Yeah, because when you hear you could tell she got fire in her belly. I'm thinking, man, she could. I feel like she can go out there and still win. I just, like I said, my brother, I know I could keep you here forever. So who is winning the Super Bowl this year? Give me your overall prediction and the national champion in college.
I'm going to pull for Texas to win the national championship in college. I know the good thing is this game is so early. Even if they lose, they can recover and still make the playoffs and get in. So I'm going to go Texas there. And then I just have a soft spot for Josh Allen. I love the guy so much. He is such a stud, and he loves his golf. And I've been watching Hard Knocks, which is probably
I feel like it's time, right?
Yeah.
He's been talking about loading up your team and carrying them. It's time for that team, and especially going back to when I played in Jim Kelly and that group of 4 straight. It's time for Buffalo, time for him. I think that if they stay healthy and he stays healthy, they've got a legitimate chance. Because that AFC, I don't think we're getting 4 Super Bowls in a row, at least appearance by the Chiefs this year.
Yeah,
it is Mahomes.
It pains me to say it, but I think it's going to be Philly and Buffalo.
And wouldn't be half bad, would it? That's a hell of a Super Bowl, even if it's not your team, man. Because I'm a Raiders guy, so I get it, man.
Yeah, 100%. Philly is just, God, my hatred for them.
Okay, so tell me something we're promoting. We've been rolling it across the lower third there. What else can we promote for you? What's going on with you?
Nothing. That's it. Obviously, SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio. Me and Drew are on every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 12 to 2.
Great stuff, too.
And it's a fun one. Yeah, we talk a lot of golf, but now golf's winding down. There's going to be some more football talk in there because both of us are very passionate football fans. And then we have the Subpar podcast. We put out 50 a year. Comes out normally every Tuesday. This next week will be Wednesday because of Labor Day. But yeah, the podcast is a blast. Got special guests on there. We got to get you on there sometime.
You talk anything you want. I'm one of those. I'm like the Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the other. With all your stars coming on, I'll be the guy that's not. But I'll talk it. I love golf lingo too. And my favorite, you got to answer me this. You guys are all on tour. You played on tour. You go to Whisper Rock and playing with what? There's got to be 35 PGA Tour. That's my favorite. You show up. The one time I played Whisper Rock, no phones. You look around. Oh, here's it. Who's the hell knows going to show up at the first tee playing? Oh, man, Colt's here. Oh, why not Mickelson? Or how about this guy, right? Or Larry Fitzgerald? Or you mentioned Charles. Well, now I lost my train of thought. What were we talking? Getting on the button. Yeah, I'm a no household name, but I'll go over there and talk it. Damn, I lost my train of thought. We've got to talk about when you get to the golf course and play. It'll come back to me. Ryder Cup. Yeah. I meant to transfer that into the Ryder Cup. What's going to be the biggest key, aside from iron play, favorite? I mean, who's the better 12 going in on paper?
Man, that's a very tough question. I'll just tell you this quickly. Team USA was minus 350 when the Ryder Cup ended in Rome. They're down to minus 145. Now, Team Europe is loaded, but I'll tell you this. Home soil means so much. We have not had a winner on foreign soil since 2012, and that was the miracle at Medina. So obviously something crazy happened there on Sunday for Team Europe to come back. I think Team USA is going to win. I think it is going to be very, very close. Like, it's going to come down to one of those last couple of singles matches, but I think they pull it out in the end. I think the crowd up there in New York is just going to be too much of an advantage for USA.
What will you, as being there and watching this and being a part of it and covering it, do you get that same feeling that somebody may get that's never been to Augusta and playing it for the first time? What will your energy feel like just for this? I mean, and to be able, you're friends with both sides, but this is I don't mean war in the war sense, but this is a battle. How do you distinguish this, man?
Man, it is so much fun to be there. I'm the analyst for SiriusXM on the radio, and this will be my third Ryder Cup. I remember the first one, Whistling Straits, obviously was a pounding, but that first tee Friday morning, if you're going and you don't set your alarm early to make sure you are in those stands on the first tee, you're not doing it right. It is one of the coolest atmospheres I've ever seen. And then going over to Rome last year was even better. I mean, their fans with their chants and all this, they are so creative. They're so funny. And they're very respectful as well. The first tee is unbelievable. Quickly before we get out of here, Nicholas Colt was a vice captain last year. And I remember a bunch of the captains were walking out to the first tee, and the crowd's going nuts, doing all these things. And Colt walks through the tunnel and just walks right onto the first tee. He's standing there by himself, and he just looks around at the crowd like this and just tells them to be quiet. And then he starts the skull chant, right? Like they do at the Minnesota Viking games. The skull, skull. And he had them in the palm of his hands. Like, he was controlling the tempo and everything. And then at the end, they just erupted. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I was standing right there. I was like, I got goosebumps. I was like, this is so cool.
Can't get here soon. I know what I was going to say about is golf lingo. Real quick before I let you go. You play with all these guys and have been on a tour and been a great player. When we say, oh, man, he's a solid ball striker, my buddies and I always make fun. Aren't they all solid ball strikers? I mean, golf lingo is the best. Oh, solid ball striker. Never golf lingo. Aren't they all solid ball strikers?
listen, you don't fake it and make it to the PGA Tour if you can't hit it. There's no doubt. But there are just some guys that are just at a different level where it's just you hear that sound, and it's hard to describe it. You hear that sound, and you just know it's different, and you know it's something special. And you just like what Scotty does. I mean, no one can ball strike it with Scotty Scheffler. It's a different level. The control he has of his club face is just phenomenal. And he always hits the right shot.
Distance control too, right? I'll tell you who's the sound that I love hearing is Lucas Glover's iron play.
Yeah.
There's something that, that hard, that big draw he's got, but there's a different sound. It doesn't sound like my shot ever, but there's just a different sound on it, different than even some, but his iron play, just the way it sounds to me makes, okay, now that's and Scotty is the epitome of what I'm thinking when I hear somebody say, just a solid ball striker, right?
Yeah, I mean, I played a ton of practice rounds with Lucas in my career. We always had a little action going on, and yeah, he could flat out flush it.
Who was there's no snub because these guys who earned it, the Ben Griffin story is awesome. Who was the one who didn't get in that you said could have?
Keegan Bradley. He snubbed himself.
Right. Outside of him, who was
in my opinion, that's the only one. Maverick, it was down to probably Maverick McNeely and Brian Harman. And for Brian Harman, who's a phenomenal putter, it might just be too big of a ballpark for him. He's not short, but he's just not long. He would be the shortest person on that team. So I just don't think it fit. And then Maverick McNeely, I think still just young and kind of finding his way. I know he won once in the fall, but can Maverick McNeely handle those big moments like they're going to have at the Ryder Cup? And I didn't think so. I thought he got it right. I mean, I seriously, I'm not joking. Like the biggest snub was himself.
I've kept you way too long, but one I do want to ask, will we ever get LIV and PGA Tour figured out?
Probably. I don't see them ever coming together now. Like the PGA Tour's thriving. They're doing great. LIV's having fun with their team stuff, which I don't really care about. I do see some guys whose contracts end over there, and then they come back to the PGA Tour. But until they decide they're done wasting money over there, I don't see them ever going away.
Well, Keith, I'll be in constant touch with you. Unpaved Golf and Leisure Apparel. You're going to love the logo. I'm just going to run it. But, hey, like I said, I'm on the negotiation. If they ever allow it, you never know when it's coming down the pike, brother. And I take you any day of the week to represent that.
We'll talk about it.
I'm throwing it out there, and I'm sure there's a million others, but I'm just throwing it out there. I am a diehard fan. I could do this forever. I appreciate everything. I know you got a lot going on, and I look forward to getting out there and seeing you again and playing with you, man. And please come back and visit. The Cowboys go on a 6-game roll. Let's come in and talk about it, or even post-Ryder Cup. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Anytime you want. Just give me a call.
You're the best. Colt, thank you very much, my man. I sure appreciate you. Great laughs and great insight. Can't wait to do it again. My man, thank you.
Thank you.
That's a great Colt. I love him, man. I do. I think he's as good as it gets. Colt Knost is the way the tour should be. Jim and all, they're all great, but I'm talking about with these. There's a spice. There's a reverence for the game. But when I say irreverence, I mean it to the point of where a guy hits a bad shot, you should be able to say it. And he admitted it. And he has taken it to where a good golfer, knew when it was his time. And dare I say that his broadcast career makes you think that he's been a broadcaster for a lot longer than 5 years. Plus, he's just one of the guys. Guys like that get great information from players. Why? Because he's not a sellout. He respects their opinion, but he's a great storyteller. My special thanks to Colt Knost. I get so caught up into it. I want to go in 80 different places that trying to remember, going back and forth, because I love it. I don't ever script these, man. I don't. I know where I want to go. And what's odd is if I was going to script an interview or say questions, I would do it more for the other sports in golf because I just roll, man, with him and with that. And he's so easy to go anywhere you want. We could have talked movies, I'm sure, and cold drink as we did. I'm just a great fan because he's one of us who just happens to be a phenomenal player and damn good at his job. But I just love the insight. And you don't have to script these for the show with the show's Dog Shit Without JB. JB will come on every Monday. Everything's not here for you. We're not just here to talk and just because you want to hear it. We love the man. We love JB, and JB will be a part of the show every Monday. He's got his family he's got to deal with and his own show. So yes, but just because we don't appeal to you, Joy T34 or JT34, you do have an option. You don't have to fucking tune in. But I would argue that Colt Knost, like the other guests, give you great shit. But this is the kind of stuff and that's okay. You have an option. If you want to tune in, fine. We'll have Trey Wingo on next week. Darren Woodson's coming down the pike. John Smoltz. So a lot of great ones. But you know what? You give me a good golfer, especially with Ryder Cup and talking football. Colt Knost isn't just a golf guy. So I am a huge fan of his, and I think we all can learn something. But that's the way it's supposed to be broadcast. A little laugh, little fun, reverence for the game, respect for the game. But I guarantee you he's taking a lot of money from his buddies because he's got more game than even he leads on, and one of the great amateur players in the country, in the world, and the best at one point in time. And, you know, when injuries get in the way, but he made the transition like a lot of athletes do. Some don't do it near as well as he does. It won't be the last time you see him on here. And you guys think I'm kidding about this golf apparel. I'm not. This has been my passion as much as anything that I'm doing right now. And I'm getting to the point where I'm going to get myself a silk screen just to start printing T-shirts, golf T-shirts, and the logo. And I'm toying with the logo. I love it. More than anything I do, this is my number one passion. And I've got businesses and stuff in my own broadcast career. I can listen to Colt Knost talk golf and life and sports anytime. Great man, great storyteller. Good stuff. Won't be the last time. Hope you enjoyed it. Share it with your friends. Real quick, let me talk to you guys about Chef IQ. And I'm a customer. I use it. It's listen, you know the moment of truth where everyone sits down, that grilling anxiety at the table, and you brace yourself while they cut into their meat. How many of us done that? Yep, we all do. Is the chicken raw? Is it cooked? Did I just ruin $100 worth of steaks? And in some cases, it could be $100 for that steak. And how does salmonella get here? And what is that all about? Those go through it, don't they? Big group of people over getting ready for your college football, your NFL. And then all of a sudden, it's all changed. Why? Because Chef IQ Sense. It's the wireless cooking thermometer that turns you into a master chef. Put your ego aside. You want it done right, correct? You obviously want it done right. It works for all types of cooking, grilling, pan-searing, roasting, everything. It's so easy. You just insert your sensor right into the steak, chicken, fish, or whatever you're cooking, right? You're looking to get it to perfection the way you want it and the way your people eat and want it. Open the Chef IQ app. Choose how you want it cooked, rare, medium, well done, any preference that's yours. With multiple probes, everyone gets exactly what they want. So somebody wants medium rare, bam. Somebody wants rare, somebody wants well done. Then you get to sit back and relax and enjoy the company, knowing that the steak, the fish, the chicken are going to come out perfect. It sends real-time updates. It tells you when to flip, when to take it off, and even how long to let it rest. It's a genius, hence the name, Chef IQ Sense. Seriously, it's like having a culinary coach in your pocket. No more guessing, no more lid lifting to check, and no more dinner disasters. It's Chef IQ Sense. It's precision cooking for everyone, and you can put your ego aside because this is going to get it done right. No more worry or anxiety. Trust me, you'll wonder how you cooked without it. I'm not only a customer, I also get a chance to talk on behalf of what I consider a phenomenal. Get the app. More importantly, Chef IQ Sense, and it gets you to be able to monitor it all the way through so it's done right. And right now, you can get 15% off site-wide with code Sean, that's SEAN, at chefiq.com. That's chefiq.com. That's chefiq.com. Promo code Sean, cook to perfection. Yep, there we go. Triple E, great stuff, man. Colt Knost, and if you don't know about golf, Triple E, I know you know how I am about golf in the morning, dude. I'll talk it all day, every day. But that man right there is phenomenal, and I'm a big fan. And it won't be the last time he comes on. Especially, I'm going to get him on, just talk football analysis. You hear him talking about it. Oh, this guy, this coach, do this, get this guy the football. They underpay, they overpay. Dak can play. Colt Knost knows his sports. He's a Texas guy, and he definitely knows football. So we'll be back at it tomorrow. We got no show tomorrow or Monday. I'm flying to USC to watch. I got a big business meeting there that I can't wait for. And with my middle son, who's getting married in a month, we're going out to watch SC play and have fun. And then Monday's off because of Labor Day. It's a big college football weekend. We'll be back next week with great guests, and we'll cover wall-to-wall college football on a huge weekend this weekend. And then we lead into the NFL weekend. You don't want to miss it. And we will break down the matchups now, not just all did this guy make the team, the matchups, which are more important than all the hype and pomp and circumstance. Well, this guy should have started, this guy shouldn't. Now it applies to game plans. And that's what we'll be putting in next week. And we'll come out with a preview of the coming week and a review of what happened in college football this past weekend. It's on. This is our Masters. This is our U.S. Open. This is our Ryder Cup, where every single day it's passionate. JB will join us hopefully on Tuesday next week, since Monday will be no show and you'll have it off. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. and then we'll be back at it Tuesday since I'm traveling tomorrow. Guest list, guest, and Kirk Herbstreit too, just trying to fit it in his schedule. So he'll give us a great idea. He's a little bit busy with this Lee Corso finale and College Game Day. It'll be awesome. Today's guest was spectacular in Colt Knost. Give him a follow at Colt Knost on Twitter and follow his podcast. You'll get a good laugh. He's got the right perspective. He made the show better. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Enjoy a great college football weekend. Will Arch Manning live up to the hype, which is going to be tough to do on the road against the reigning national champion with a new quarterback? Clemson, a lot of people think they're going to win the national title. Cade Klubnik, a Heisman Trophy candidate and a first pick of the draft type favorite. And then Doug Nussmeier, the only reigning quarterback in college football as a veteran that threw for over 4,000 yards. They got Clemson and LSU, among other games. Those are some big ones, and it's a start. Who's underrated? Who's overrated? Look at Florida's schedule. Brutal. Is South Carolina as good as they were last year? Who's SMU? Who's Arizona State? Who's Boise State? Those are the teams that, hung around and some got in and some didn't. And then the big boys. Is Alabama back? Will they be the same? Where's Tennessee without Nico? Georgia and their quarterback situation. Is Miami with Carson Beck going to elevate their play? Florida State, can they elevate, get back at it? What's Mike Norvell's situation? And will Dan Lanning be able to replace Dylan Gabriel? All those stories and more. And Colorado's got a new quarterback. Deion's no longer coaching his son. What's going to happen there? And can my USC Trojans play defense? Stories upon stories. And, the Big Ten and Michigan and it's Penn State, who's been a hot topic on national championship hopes. Will James Franklin be able to win a big one against a big opponent? All those will be answered throughout 2025. Look forward to seeing you guys. Can't wait till Tuesday. Thanks again to my man Colt Knost. We'll see you guys then.